uncut, unedited. You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited.
Unedited. All right, you already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited. This is where we
Tell the truth
and what?
and shame the devil.
We what?
Tell the truth and shame the
We want to
devil.
talk about the Black experience. Hey guys, don't forget to leave your boy some stars now. All right, that'd be cool. Leave your boy some stars. This is the Black experience. All right, come on in. We're going to talk about some Black folk stuff. We're going to talk Black talk today. They can't start it. They can't start. Uh-huh. Come on in, people. Come on in. Come on in. This is live, uncut, unedited. Come on in. Come on in, people. All right. I love being Black.
I love being Black.
All right. Come on in, folk. This is a wonderful day. Wonderful day. Glad to be living in the land of the living. All right, come on in. Make sure you leave your boy some stars now. Help a brother out when you can. I want to give a shout out to my YouTube family. Those of you just tuning by way of YouTube. Thank you so much. Thank you for your support. Thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all the support. And everything is not about money. It could be just a support. It could be prayers. And, you know, when you meet me in the streets and things like that, come in my inbox, you say, hey, Martin, thank you for doing a good job. So, you know, those are motivational things that help me to keep the fight going. Now, do I get discouraged sometimes? Yes. Do I get upset? Yes. Do I feel like sometimes throwing the towel in? Yes. But thank God I'm pressing on. I've realized that this is not a sprint. This is a marathon. And I thank God for allowing me to be able to be a servant, a voice. Thank God for that. Life is good. Life is wonderful. All right. I love life. I love Black people. I love being Black.
I love being Black.
For real. We're going to have a great show tonight. I want us to love on each other. And I want us to be honest with each other tonight. We want to be honest tonight. All right. I want us to be, and those of you that's not my friend on YouTube, subscribe to my page, YouTube, Martin G. Johnson. I guarantee you that if you can't catch me on Facebook, you definitely can catch me on YouTube. Guarantee you that. And it's a wonderful thing that where you can go to a platform and you can be yourself and speak as you think. The Bible said, as a man thinking in his heart, so is he. If you think that you're great, you are great. Be great. The Bible says that the power of life and death is in the tongue. All right, so you got to speak. You have to speak life. You have to speak life over your children. Speak life over them right now. You have to speak life over your children. You got to lay hands on them and pray for them. And you got to be right now. You got to be right. You got to be right. We had a wonderful weekend this week. We had KRS-One in town in Chicago doing his thing, greeting the people, taking time out of his busy schedule to come in Chicago. And like he said, Chicago may have the solution for New York. New York may have the solution for Chicago. Well, what do you mean by that, Martin? Let me explain it like this. Chicago, we might be the state of oranges. So New York, they may not be able to grow oranges. So they need some oranges. so we can ship oranges to New York. That's solving a problem. All right, people, make sure y'all share this video. Share this video. Let me share it too as well. And I'm going to get to hollering out names and recognizing names and people. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in. But we're going to be talking about the Black experience. You know, them white folks don't like us talking about this type of talk. They want us to be quiet. Oh, they call me a race beta. They call me all types of names. But it don't matter. You ain't gonna never stop me from loving on black folks, white folks. You ain't gonna, you're not gonna, that's not gonna happen. I know who raised me. A black mother raised me to love a black woman. Raised me. All right. This is where we tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
And shame the
Shame
devil.
the devil.
They call me a race beta. I can't be no more race beta than the white man. Everything he do is based on race. Neighborhoods is based on race. Income is based on race. Political power is based on race. Owning land is based on race. Sports is based on race. Come on now. Religion is based on race. Because if it wasn't, you wouldn't have a white Christian church and a black Christian church and a Spanish Christian church. That goes to show you the divide. Is heaven divided? I don't think so. Heaven is not divided. We're going to talk about the Black experience. The Black experience. What's up, D? I see you. Jamal Harris, I see you. Billy Kinslow, I see you. Anita Tolliver, I see you. Tamara, I see you. Henry Hartsfield, I see you. Marie Cunningham, I see you. Nathan, I see you. Peggy, I see you. Monique, I see you. Sharon Williams, I see you. Sherry Jones Monjoy, I see you. Cassandra Clark, Chris Moore. All right, I see you guys. Y'all coming on in. Leon Green. All right. Miss Tavion Fields Fort, I see you. India Baker, I see you. Roosevelt, sound off. All right. Sharon Williams. Don Nicole, all right, I see you. All right, I see you. Divine Oya, bless you, brother. Peace and blessing, man of God. Nisi Sherfield, all right, I love being black.
I love being black.
Anita Tolliver. All right, Jessica JBL, I see you. Lynn Miller, Vicky Curry Walker, I see you. I see you. I see you. I see you. Kevin Williams, I see you. Kena Nicole, hey, Kena. Anton Taylor, what's going on? Mama Poppins. Hey, Mama Poppins. All right. All right. Louis Ramsey. Oh, yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about that. Chris Moore. All right. Phil McCuston. I think I pronounced that right. Y'all know I ain't good with these names. All right. Donna Williams. What's up, my brother? I see you. I see you. I see you. Eddie again. All right. Let's get started, people. Was that L.Y. Hill? I see you all the way from Texas. Cynthia, so thankful to God. Smith, Dorenzo, I see you. All right. Missy Gavin, I see you. Jennifer Green, I see you. I appreciate my brother Stringer Havers. What's going on? All right. All right, bro. He said, I prophesied over everybody listening, including Martin Johnson, life and your family. Every source of mercy, goodness, and blessing, promotion, and helpers in your life that stopped flowing shall be reopened by God's name. Amen. I receive that in the mighty name of Christ. Yes, 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 yes. All right, people, we want to talk about the Black experience. And we want to question some things that we do and say to each other and the way we think. And one of the questions I asked today, I wanted to know someone to explain to me what is white on white crime. We often hear the term so much, even amongst our community, black on black crime, but we never hear the term mentioning white on white crime. And you want to ask yourself, what does white on white crime really means? I have a lot of questions tonight. One of the questions that I'm going to ask tonight as well, why is it that black men are attracted to white women? That's one of the questions that I want to ask. Why, as black people, when we do something, we call it ghetto? Why do we call things that black people do ghetto? These are the questions that I want to ask because we say things, and I wonder, do we really know what we're saying, and why are we saying these things? So my phone lines are open right now. I'm going to say the number.
Call in number 872-299-0808
DeAndre
or
Williams.
872-297-6389.
Yeah. All right. I need some callers. Rhonda Baldwin. I need some callers to call in. Tiffany Wilson, how you doing? All right. We need to ask a question because, what is white on white crime? Someone need to come on here, preferably a white person or black person. Explain to me, what is white on white crime? I need to know that. Somebody explain it to me. That's what I want to know. I'm looking for more callers. Area code 872-299-0808, 872-297-6389. I'm live, uncut. I got one call on the screen. And I want somebody to explain to me, what is white on white crime? In your own words. All right, caller, area code 917. Come on, caller.
Hi, how
Hey.
are you?
Oh, I'm living. Wonderful. So I need you to
You're gonna get
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Candy Apple, I see you. Sharon Williams, I see you. All right. Nisi Sheffield, I see you. Leonard Roy, what's going on? Angelia Moore, I see you. All right, DeLawrence Brownlow. All right, my dear sister, explain to me in your own words, what is white on white crime? I like to know that. Maybe you could help me out.
First of all, I want to say hi. I want to say, first of all, hi, how are you?
I'm good. Don't worry about praising me. Let's get on to the question. Thank you. Anyway, I want to get on to this question.
That's fine. Okay, I've got an answer. There is no such thing. Under Bill O'Reilly, under Obama, he, they, them came up with a term called black on black crime. It was another smash in the face because they, them, those didn't like Obama due to all of the police shootings, right? If we go under the one that happened in St. Louis, right, Missouri, right, Michael Brown, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Then if we get over to Gray, over in Baltimore, right, guys? And then wasn't it Minnesota with the one guy in his car, his girlfriend, he was legal to carry, right? Remember him?
Yeah.
And then under Sandra Bland, right? So if you guys follow me, right? There's no such thing. That's why you don't hear it. Instead, I gave you a great example of why they don't come up with it and why they did what they did, which is,
well,
yeah.
We hear the term black on black crime, but we never hear the term white on white crime in the media all the time, and we never hear it. Actually, I never hear it.
I don't neither.
Yeah, they never say it. So
can I
go ahead?
Yeah, I just wanted to say something about this, where they go and they, date and they marry these, the white guilt politician type people. Do you want to know my little input on that, Martin?
No, well, not really. Not really. I want to know
Okay.
why black men marry white women, date white women.
Yeah,
I want to know that. I want to know
so
that.
I said it wrong. Yes.
Okay.
So I said it wrong. That's exactly. So I'm gonna tell you guys what I think. Right? It's for validation. So if we do take a look at, let's say a man. I don't know. Should I say active? No, I won't say activist. Okay. So let's say it's somebody that we all know, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they working so hard to get on top, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they finally got the attention by way of us. And they had to work so hard with us. They had to, get through all the hate that we spew to each other and woo-woo. And now all of a sudden, a white boy has embraced them. Even when we see that one picture, right? You know how we see that one picture
Right.
with that person, with the person that we can identify with? And then all of a sudden he takes that picture with that white boy or that white girl. My God, they think they're validated. That's my belief system. I think it all has to do with validation. I've been listening to you for so long
Mhm.
that I have had to accept that many things that we do, right? Although we don't, okay, so like we don't know how to get all the way to the finish line, maybe like some white folks, whatever. But we do everything that we can to please, to validate that we are better than our own people.
Mhm.
So therefore, the white chick, boom, just like that. Now we're really validated. Yeah, I got me a fine white girl with blonde, the blue-eyed devil thing.
Now that's you
That's
call.
white as
I ain't.
snow.
Nah, I'm not saying blue-eyed devil. That's you saying
Okay.
blue-eyed devil. Nah,
Okay,
that's you.
it
So
is. Yeah,
okay, you
I'm just-
said that. Okay.
I'm just-
I mean, I know we
What-
act like the
What
devil.
do you think?
Go ahead.
No. What do you think? I want to know what you think.
No, it ain't what I'm thinking. I'm asking questions. I got another call. I'm asking questions. I don't worry about what I think. I'm asking questions. I got my own.
Mhm.
I got my own thing. I already know because I know what's going on.
Mhm.
I'm just trying to wake the dead up. The sleeping giant.
I ain't heard that.
It's a sleeping giant.
So
in
am I
the
on
land.
track? Am I on track with what I'm learning, Martin, the past
yeah,
4
you
or 5
learning.
years with you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. You're learning.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Thank you.
Hold it.
I'll
Let
be
me
listening.
let me take this other call, young
Okay.
lady. Hold on. Hey, 912. It might be Sarge. 912.
Oh, it most certainly is. What's going on, bro?
Okay. So explain to me what is white on white crime in your own
Oh,
words.
John Wayne Gacy and them other ones that only commit atrocities against their own.
Okay. Now, I wanted you to be honest with me. You live in Atlanta, correct? You're from
No, not in Atlanta.
well, I'm
I'm in Georgia, though.
I'm sorry, state of Georgia. Okay. Have you ever in your life heard the media, the mainstream media, say white on white crime? Be honest.
Never,
So why you think that?
because the masses that are the majority control the narrative.
Okay.
It's sensationalism.
Okay.
Sensationalism makes people watch the news.
All right. I got another question for
Now,
you.
remember when we were talking and I said this is term, they said it's going to be a long, hot summer.
Right.
And I said the only place there's a long, cold summer is Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
Sensationalist terminology. That's all.
Okay. I have another question for you. Why black men date white women?
Black men date white and other non-black women because too many black women have become verbally and physically aggressive, confrontational, and all of that. What man wants to deal with that?
Okay.
You're out here in the world. You're dealing with everything in the world.
Martin,
Trying to get that money.
Hold it. Don't speak out of
Oh,
turn. Hold
on,
it, sister.
Hold
That
on,
brother
sister.
is talking. He didn't say one word when you was talking. Let him talk, whether you believe it or agree with it or not. We got another call anyway. Go ahead. Go ahead, my brother.
Well, see, now, Mark, you just got a perfect example of what I'm talking about. I didn't say a word while she was talking. Now, you out in the world making the money to keep the lights on and the food in the house and this and that, and you doing battle out there in the workforce. You don't want to come home and go to war too.
Okay.
Then that's what you get. And a lot of doggone, not all, but a lot of situations when you're coming home to a black woman.
Okay, hold it right there, Sarge. You're going to start a gender war on here. I got to go to the next caller.
No, I'm not going to start a gender war.
No,
I'm
just hold it. I got to go to the next caller. 5011. 5011.
Yeah. Hi, Martin.
How you doing? We're gonna start with the first question. What does white on white crime means? Can you explain that to me?
I think that is just something made up. No one uses the term white on white crime. They only use black on black crime to isolate our crimes to be only our business and not to the general public.
Okay. Now, and I'm gonna ask you a question. I think we up there like in the same age bracket. Have you ever heard the mainstream media, whether it be Fox, ABC, NBC, CBS, use the term white on white crime?
Not ever.
Okay. Now, I'm going to my next question. Why black men date white women? In your own words.
I think it's just their preference. I don't think it's anything to do with the angry black woman syndrome. They have white women that are aggressive as well. I mean, Tiger Woods' wife was aggressive, you know, beating him with a golf club is aggressive. Lorena Bobbitt was aggressive. She cut a man's team and threw it out the window or whatever. So it's not just about black women being aggressive. I think it's just a preference.
Okay. That's a good question. Good answer. I like that answer. All right. I got another question to ask you. This is a good one too. When we say something is ghetto, and I've been guilty of it, I'm probably yourself. How can we determine something ghetto, and what are we comparing it to in order for it to be ghetto? You get my, do you need
When
me?
we say something is ghetto, we're making a derogatory statement to mean that something isn't up to par. Something is subpar. Is you're below standards. That's what, when we say that to other people, that's what we're meaning when we say that's ghetto or this is ghetto. So, you know, ghetto is an actual Jewish term for where they live.
Mm-hmm. Now, so what standard are they being held to when we say some ghetto? What standard?
It just depends on what you're talking about. It may be their actions that seem ghetto.
Okay, well, let me ask you a question. Have you ever used the term, have you ever called somebody ghetto? Black people?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Give me one reason why you call black people ghetto and certain things. Just give me one reason. I want to know.
When I see a lot of physical confrontation on the street, fighting, you know, like the teenagers was downtown. When I see those type of videos, I'd be like, oh, they ghetto as hell. All right, now, hold it right there. Now, if that's ghetto, what are you comparing that to say that that's ghetto? I'm comparing it to the normal way people behave when they downtown. Typically, people walking around and not walking on other people's cars, you know? Okay, well, let me say this. Why can't that be normal to them? That might be normal. That's what that definitely isn't a social norm. If they feel that, you know, that type of behavior is normal, something seriously wrong with their optics of what they see in their community. Right. Well, I can say this. What's right to you may be wrong to another person and vice versa. So they may not see anything wrong with that. So if we call that ghetto, jumping on top of people's cars, harassing people, we have to compare it to some. What's the normal way? What is considered normal in that situation? I mean, well, go ahead. The normal thing to do would be to walk down the street. If you want to be loud and hang out with your friends, that's acceptable. A lot of people come downtown and have big fun. When you destroy other people's property, when you have no regard for life, it's ghetto. That's a problem. Okay. All right. Hold it right there. Let me go to the next call. Thank you for your comments.
All right.
Martin, I want to say something about it.
No, you can't, ma'am. I got another caller. I'll come back to you. I
Okay.
promise you. I promise you. 9433. Come on, caller. 9433. Last
Hey,
four.
Martin, how you doing?
Hey, good. Question is, what is white on white crime? Explain that to me if you know.
They do not announce it on the news. They keep it hid.
Okay. All right, they keep it here. Okay. Is it a such thing as white on white crime?
Yes, it is. It
Leslie,
happens every day.
Leslie
They do.
Brown, I see you. Okay, every day. Okay. Now, why does black men date white women?
The black sisters are too strong for them. They can't take care for us.
Ooh, I heard that. All right. y'all gonna be going.
Tell the truth and shame
Hey,
the
tell
devil.
the truth, shame the devil. Hey.
Tell the truth and shame the devil.
Okay. All right. The black sisters too strong for. Okay. All right. So now let me ask you a question. Another question. When we call something ghetto, what determines if something is ghetto? Now, what do we compare it to? Like when we say if a black sister walked down the street with a bonnet on her head, right? I think that's what you call a bonnet, right? And we say that's ghetto. Okay, now, in order to say that's ghetto, what are we comparing that to be, you know? So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
That is ghetto.
Well, why is it ghetto?
You
Well,
don't go to the store in your hair bonnet. You don't go to the store in your pajamas. That's just trifling and nasty.
Now, who set that standard? Who made that standard now? Because you know, and I know, black people and white people, we think different. And most people that call things ghetto, when black people are doing it, they are comparing it to white people. If white people don't do it, they consider it as ghetto. But we different. We do things different.
No,
go ahead.
It's all about how you present yourself. It's all about appearance.
I mean, if a person want to walk down the street in their pajama pants and they bonded, and that might be the way of our culture. That's probably what we like doing. I mean, I've called it ghetto, but it might not. It really might not be ghetto. That's the way we do things. Okay, I'll give you an example. I remember about 5 or 6, 7, 8 years ago where all the game bangers and the thugs started wearing white t-shirts. It was a fashion. Now, you had other black people calling it ghetto because white people wasn't doing it. But that was the fashion of the young people. You may call sagging ghetto because white people are not doing it. A lot of them doing it too. But when black people tend to do something, be creative, it's ghetto. The way we talk is ghetto. Our dialect. Yeah. So what we're doing as black people, we're allowing the Caucasian, the European, to set the standard for us. We're measuring our way of life to theirs.
That's not true, Martin.
I'm telling you.
No,
go ahead.
No, that's not true. No, it's not. Because Martin, you know that you say we're around the same age. And so you know that was unacceptable in our mother's age group to walk around with rollers in your hair. I remember that was a big thing back then.
But,
whether or not women should wear rollers in their hair in public. Now you have the bonnet. Okay,
let me just say this. That may be normal to some people. That's no right or wrong, though, because you come outside with a bonnet on or rollers in your hair. That's no right or wrong. What if you come outside and you running outside and you taking your son or your daughter to school, or you running to the grocery store to get something? I mean, my thing is because white people. Hold on, let me let Tiffany. Go ahead, Tiffany, because I stopped her. Go ahead, Tiffany. I'm sorry. Go
I
ahead.
was waiting to see. I was like,
Go ahead, Tiffany. I'm sorry. My
No,
apology. I
you're good.
apologize. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I was being quiet. I was like, I'll just wait for him to call my name. I'll just be quiet. So this is my feedback, right? So everything that we say, we do. A lot of it, right, in the highest majorities is not always correct, right?
Right.
Remember our word thug? That's our culture, right?
Right.
That's kind of us like talking in tongues, right? Like they do in the church, right? We understand what it means. We understand when we say it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that is hood. That's ghetto. Why she got those slippers on with, you know what I'm saying? And she in the grocery store. So many of us do it, Martin, right?
Right.
That's our language, right?
Mhm.
But now it's bad. Oh, ghetto. What do? They go and they use our words to make it hate words against us directly, derogatory words, right? Remember thug? Oh, they a thug. White folks when they said, oh, that's a thug, menace to society. Remember the word menace to society?
Yeah, I remember that.
You see where I'm going with this? Now, the way that we use it, I agree. We use it as saying, man, they dumb and stupid. Why they embarrassing us over here? Us could be us in the same. We all at a black concert together. We'll look at a group of blacks, because we're black, and be like, dang, they ghetto. They embarrassing us. It's our own foreign language. But it's the white folk, right? They love to capitalize off of it, right? Then they take our words in our tongue, right? And then boom, just like that. They're just haters.
Okay. All right, I got another caller. Hold
What
on,
do you
guys.
think?
Go. Okay. Now, don't worry about what I think.
Okay.
Let me get to this caller. We don't want to leave nobody. I believe this is Dr. Sanders. I think it is 4703.
God bless, Martin.
Hey, how you doing, Doc? Well, the question is, I got a couple of questions before you jump. The question is, what is white on white crime? That's the first question. Once you answer that, I'll go to the next question. And why? The second question is, why black men date white women? Okay.
Why do a lot of Mexicans date black men?
Okay. Well,
they marrying them.
Yeah. Well, hey, I'm just asking the question, so I'm just here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Saying it's just, I'm not. I mean, when white on white crime is basically defined as one of itself. It's doing things to each other, to their own, craziness that we see is going on, in our community, in our world. There are a lot of them that are against their own, you kill your own self. As far as why they like them, I think a lot of them, it could be several things, Martin. I think some of it can be fantasy. It could be fantasy.
Okay.
See how it is. A lot of the athletic men, some of them marry different types of women. Some of them could be fantasy. Some of them could be just because they like their personality. But like you always say, you love being black.
Yes,
I love being black. I love being black.
I love being black.
There you go. And a lot of them basically just want to change up. It's a lot of black women marry a lot of white men, or there are some that are married to Mexican men, Spanish men. I'm seeing that happen more and more.
Hold on one second. I got a call in. Somebody want the number. Call in number 872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389. The number is going across the screen too, people. All you gotta know is it's small. I can't help that, but it's going across the screen. The number have two numbers. If one number is busy, call the other number. Okay. Okay, Doc. Now when we
hey Martin, hit the number for one more time so they can write it down.
Okay, one more time. All right. That's
Call
my
in number
872-299-0808 or 872-297-6389. All right, people. All right, Dr. Sanders, I want to ask you another question about when we say ghetto, and we often use that term, I use it, what do we really mean when we call each other ghetto or doing something? What are we comparing it to?
Well, the late Johnny Hathaway recorded albums back in the day. Probably folks wasn't even born, wasn't even thought of, was signifying how we live or where we live in certain areas. And basically, a lot of them were talking about how a lot of the African Americans were housed in project development, of course, that literally kept a lot of our people enclosed, like trapped animals. And then the way that the behavior of not being able to know how to train them, how to teach them. I didn't grow up in the projects. I grew up in a residential community. And the residential community, all the neighbors came together. We did share their flowers.
No, but Dr. Sanders, hold it. That ain't what I'm talking about. That's not what I'm talking about.
No,
okay. Okay, I just want.
I'm getting to it.
Okay, go ahead. Okay.
No, I hear. What I'm saying is that a lot of it comes from where Black people were housed, where they were housed. A lot of them, when I made an example of where I grew up at, it was not called the ghetto. It was called residential. But a lot of it was referring to the project development of how Black folks lived, how they ate, how they interacted with each other, how they appeared to be loud and disrespectful, which that wasn't always true. So it was basically where they were housed. And like 39, 83, Lake Park, State Street, Stateway Gardens, a lot of them said that was the ghetto. Because who lived in those project developments? African Americans, Robert Taylor, African Americans. If you go to New York, you had Polish that was living in the project. Go back to it in the early days. So when they talk about ghetto, it's the behavior of how they were living in the development. And a lot of it came from that.
Okay. All right. Let me go to this next caller. You can hold on. Okay. All right. 7708. 7708. You're live, uncut, unedited. Go ahead, caller. 7708. I know exactly who that is. All right. You must be busy. All right, let me go to the next caller. All right, 0153. 0153. Caller, you're live.
That's me.
Okay, come on, let's hear it. Let me ask you the question now. The first question is, why you never hear the term, or what does the term mean, white on white crime?
Well, that depends. Like I said, is it a fist fight? Is it drug deal? Yeah, we don't hear about all that stuff on the news. But we hear a lot about black on black crime.
That's correct.
So how can you change that?
That's correct. Because, the purpose of me asking this question, we call it Chicago Black Experience, because we understand the term black on black crime, but we know crime don't have a color. Crime is committed by all. So my purpose is, why is it that the term used when it comes to Black people, then when other nationalities is not used in the mainstream media? Now, I'm 54 years old. I've never heard the mainstream media say white on white crime. Never. 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 That was my question. Now, we're going to my next question. You gave me your answer already on that. Why Black men marry white women? Want to know that? What's your thoughts on that?
Here, I have a good friend who's married to a black man. He's a cop.
Mm-hmm.
Best family ever. I think that
you could be honest now. Ain't nobody gonna cuss you out. You could be honest now. Go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
It comes from a household.
Right.
Like, what about all that stuff we see in downtown when everyone's acting like complete nut jobs?
Mm-hmm.
I saw white kids down there. I saw Mexicans down there.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I don't get. It comes from your household.
Okay. Okay.
I have 2 kids. I have 3 kids.
Okay. Now I'm not
So
honest. Go
if you
ahead.
don't address the problem, if you're sitting home watching TV or out in a bar or something, and you see something, all your friends' kids out there or whatever, you ignoring it.
Okay. Now, but
I was in the grocery store the other day.
but
And
I
you know
hold
what?
it. Hold it.
I
Hold
have,
it. Hold it.
no,
Hold it.
listen. Let
No,
me talk.
no,
I have black friends.
no. You're not answering the question. The question is why
Okay.
black men marry or date white women. That's what I want to know. I want to know why.
Because I kind of think, like the other caller said, black women are bossy.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get what they want. I've seen these videos of these women in nail salons, like throwing the place up for grabs.
Okay.
Like, why would you do that?
Mm-hmm. Okay. I understand. All right.
I see Karen video, sir.
Yeah. Hold on, people. We're not
I
talking.
love being black.
Hold on.
I
Hold on.
love being
First
black.
of all, we don't do that on here. We speak in term. This order on this live right here. Now, if you can't
And
follow,
I get it.
yeah, you can't follow.
There's a lot of crime out there,
Right. Can't follow
and they don't
protocol.
post a lot of stuff about other races.
Right. Well,
But
all right. Well, let's go to the next question. I got another question real quick. We got like 3 callers.
okay, go ahead.
Okay, the next question is my next question. The caller just threw me off. Ghetto. When you hear the term ghetto, and I hear a lot of black people, even myself, have been guilty of calling the other black people ghetto. Now, my question is, why we call them ghetto? Like we gave you an example. If a black woman walks outside, come outside with a bonnet on her head or rollers or in her pajamas, we call that ghetto, most of us. But it may not be ghetto. That's just a black experience. That's all I'm saying. But what's your thoughts on it?
I've gone to the grocery store
Mm-hmm.
with a huge ponytail on my head and pajama pants and a sweatshirt.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the way you present yourself in the store or when you're outside of whatever.
Okay.
Like, I was in the store the other day, and this lady in front of me who was younger than me, looked like she was. I don't know how old she was. I didn't ask her. She had 2 carts full, $800 worth of Link, and then bitched at the cashier because she had to pay $2 for an Oberoi glass bottle.
Mm.
So that's why a lot of people are like, are you fucking kidding me? I gave her the $2.
Okay.
It's like you're going to sit there and count out pennies and dimes for $2?
Okay. All right. Well, hold it
Like,
right.
that's why some people consider it ghetto, because she had rollers, house slippers on, and then she's bitching about $2.
Mm. Okay.
When she just spent $800 in groceries on Link.
Wow. I think so. Let me read
So
this.
present yourself better in those situations.
All right. It's someone wrote a great comment. I think Louis Ramsey. Let me see. He wrote something in here. He said that, let's see what he said in the comment. He said the terminology of ghetto, undefined, low class, cheap or inferior, a poor urban area occupied by a minority group of groups. So that was his definition of terminology of ghetto. Okay. I understand.
Hey,
okay.
Listen, I live right around the ghetto.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what? I just want to buy some of these kids a belt. Pull your goddamn pants up.
See, and we talk about that now. Hold it right there. Now we talked about that now. You have the young teenagers sagging. Okay. That's what they do. Now we call it as adults. Now I don't sag. I wear a belt. And we say that's ghetto. But that's their culture. And not just black people. white people, Spanish. I even see older
Exactly.
men that's sagging, but we call it ghetto. We call it that. It may not be really ghetto. It's just it's a fashion. You
It
know,
is, and it'll probably fade out in a couple of years. But
it may
I mean, come
not.
on,
I'll give
present
you
yourself better.
give you another example.
Because when you look like that on the corner, you're gonna get stopped by someone.
Oh yeah, you're definitely gonna get singled out. Give you another example. When I
White,
said
black, brown, green,
Right.
purple.
years ago, there is a trend came out. A lot of black guys, not only black guys, start wearing white T-shirts, and it was like a fashion thing. And so a lot of people, even myself, was calling it ghetto. You know, I mean, they'll buy some fresh Air Force Ones and white tees with the V-neck, some with, you know. So we would call that ghetto, but that's the way, that's the culture of different things. In different cultures, you have some cultures that eat cats. You got some cultures say that's terrible. You got some cultures don't eat pig, and they say that's terrible. But let me go to the next call.
And
I
here's
got
the thing.
go ahead. I'm gonna let you say your last word. I got to go to the next call. Go ahead.
We all need to get along. Everyone has, they're going through their own shit, but you know what? If your kids act like a fucking asshole and dressing like an idiot, grab them. Present
Okay.
yourself better.
Okay.
White, brown, green, purple. I don't care what color you are.
Okay. All right. Let me go to the next caller. You can hold on if you like. 6557. You're next, live, uncut, unedited.
Hey, Martin, this is Kingdom Nicole.
Hey, Keena Nicole, how you doing? So the
I'm
question
good.
is,
How are you?
the question is, why you never hear the term, or what does white on white crime means?
White on white crime means nothing. Crime is crime. But if you notice, anything that's related to black, they try to make it negative, derogatory. If you look up the word black, you know, it's all these bad things. You look up white, it's like pure and all of these nice, pretty things. Crime is crime regardless, because whether it's a black community, it's a white community, a Hispanic community, or whatever, they're still committing crime. But anything that's related to black, they're gonna make it seem more perplexed, more bad. You understand what I'm saying? Even though we're not doing no worse than nobody else, in some respects we better. You know, so that's my take on that.
Okay, I got another question real quick for you.
All right.
The next
Mhm.
question is, have you ever heard the term white on white crime being used in the mainstream media?
Never.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the next question. My other question is, why black men date white women or marry white women? What's your thoughts on that?
I can tell you based on what I heard before.
Okay, well, let me hear it. This is just a matter of
whether I
opinion.
agree with it or
Okay.
okay. So I heard some guys say that it's because black women have attitudes and, you know, we are confrontational, all of those different things. I also heard that women that are not black, especially the white ones, have a tendency more so to just kind of like go along and get along. It's like, it don't matter what the black guy looks like, he got her a black man. You know what I'm saying? And us as women, I mean, some things you're not going to tolerate. Yeah, I've seen women act a complete fool. I've seen other ladies keep themselves professional. And, you know, I guess it's just to whoever, you know, whatever they like. I don't know. To me, it makes no sense, but I can't tell anybody who to like. Can't tell anybody who to love. You understand?
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, let's go.
I mean, most of the black women I know, they don't act like that, but, you know.
Okay. All right, well, let's go to the next question. I got another brother holding on. The question is, when we call each other ghetto, I've been guilty of that. What does that really
Me
mean?
too.
What I mean, what does that really mean?
I mean, honestly, ghetto is an attitude and an action. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, give me an example.
I mean,
Give me an example. Give Martin Johnson an example.
I hear people talk about the young folks now and how they do. And then I just have to remind them. I said, well, when you were young,
Okay,
what was the fashion
oh,
trend? What was the going thing?
Okay, give me a trend that you talk about. I need you to be clear. Give me a trend.
Okay, like you were talking about the sagging pants and the white tees. I know some guys that would never, but I know some other guys that would. But again, I say it go based on attitude and action, because some of them guys that I knew that had those white t-shirts on and the sagging pants had 9 to 5, and you would never know that they dressed like that when they was at work, you know? Attitude and action. Ghetto is an attitude and an action.
Okay. I heard a little bit. I stepped away, but that's okay. All right. Let me go to the next call. Thank you, Kenny Nicole. Appreciate you. Hold on. I got my main man, Marcus, on there. Marcus, you guys on here, if you don't know, Marcus is a regular on the show. Me and Marcus, we work out the field. We do a lot of things together. He's a professional. I consider myself just a freelancer. Now, he's a freelancer as well, but he's more professional than I am. His mom had just passed, and so, Marcus, I'm saying publicly, I give you my condolences. I've already called you. We got to pray for Marcus. Marcus, he needs our prayers, because, you know, I always say Marcus definitely was a mama boy. He loved his mother. They was like more than friends. Marcus loved his mom. But go ahead, Marcus. All right. The first question. The first question is white on white crime. What does that mean?
White on white crime.
Yes.
Why don't the mainstream media use it?
Yeah, you can say that too.
It means nothing.
Okay.
Because it means nothing. Because the people in charge who make the laws are white, right?
Right.
So they're not going to demonize themselves.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, I believe me and you closer to age. We close to each other in age. Have you ever heard that term or phrase, white on white crime, being used in the mainstream media?
Never. Never. And I used to watch the news with my mother from a little boy on up to now. Never, ever in my life have I heard that term. They don't even call white people white when they commit a crime, but they call us black.
Okay. Question. When we, as people, and I think I learned this from, why do we call each other ghetto when we do things? I mean, what are we comparing it to? I learned this from you, Marcus, so that's why I'm asking.
Some of us are proud of that culture that comes from the hood. We're proud of our hood. So we look at the way, for instance, some of these kids dress with their pants sagging, tattoos on them, and even some of the young ladies, how they dress. We look at that and we consider that hoodish, which is ghetto, which in a way is tricky. It can mean positive, just like we would call each other the N-word and not get offended. But if a white person called us the N-word, we get offended. Well, we're not using the N-word.
Tell the truth
to attack
and
us.
shame the devil.
And so ghetto could be a form to describe, hey, I'm proud, I'm from the hood. Yeah, I got this attitude, I dress hoodish, when it's not really ghetto. It goes back to what the other caller said. It's about your personality and your character and your taste, your choice of your attitude.
Now, quick question, and I remember I learned from you. What do we compare as being? How do we measure something that's ghetto? What are we measuring it to?
We measuring it to the people who say, for instance, there's a certain way you go downtown. Well, now when you go downtown, you see all type of people. But taking you back a little further, when you go downtown, it was a certain style. It was, or when you went out to a formal event, you dressed a certain way. But now these young people, they dress any way they choose to dress.
Okay.
So I hope that answered your question.
Okay. Well, the last question, which should have been the first second question, is why black men date and marry white women? Your thoughts on that?
Well, one of the reasons is sex. A black woman is not that quick to give it up than a white woman and a Hispanic woman. And I'm not speaking for all white women and Hispanic women. That's one of the reasons. A white woman doesn't complain about a black man's financial status. That's another reason. And so there's less drama going on in relationships between black men and white women. That's my opinion on it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Margaret. We're going to continue to pray for you. You can hang around. I got another caller, 3268. 3268. Last four digits of your number.
Good evening, Martin.
Hey, Mr. Roosevelt. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
I'm doing good. Roosevelt, the first question is, can you explain to me what does white on white crime means?
Well, I believe I can, but before I get into anything, let me first of all give my condolences to Marcus and the passing of his mother. And, my prayers and everything are with you, because you're a pretty cool guy and everything. I know you. So I know that that's got to be pretty hard, first of all. And Martin, to get into what you asked me, I really don't think that it means anything, because it's like, I feel that crime is crime. And, the only thing that you hear, you never hear white on white crime. You never hear Hispanic on Hispanic crime. You don't hear Asian on Asian crime. Only thing that you hear out of the media is black on black crime, because there's something that they are saying to actually really make us feel shame. And to really make us the face of what crime is. Just like if you talk about, stuff like, welfare and all this other kind of stuff. Really, it's something when it comes down to welfare and food stamps and all this other stuff, is really more white people who receive welfare and public assistance than black people. Well, what did they do? They made black people the face of what was going on that is negative. So just like they made black people the face of welfare, receiving food stamps or Medicare or WIC or whatever, they also made black people the face of crime. But if you really look at it, whites are the ones who are the majority. So you would have to think that more of them are on welfare and receive food stamps, and more of them commit crime, because you have more white people who commit crimes against white people. You have Spanish people who commit crime against Spanish people, and you got Asians who commit crime against Asian people. But it's like, they put it more against us to make us the face of whatever is going on that's wrong, because, we were brought here, first of all, as slaves. We were brought here, it even still says in the Constitution, that we are 3/5 of a person. So even in the Constitution in 2023, we are still not looked at as regular whole people. So that's how come that the white society still looks at us as being the step below. So they just keep on victimizing the victims over and over and over again. And this is how come, which moving to your next question, is that you don't even hear anything about white on white crime in the media. You don't hear about Hispanic on Hispanic crime. You definitely don't hear on Asian crime. It's still black on black crime. These are terms that I have never heard a day in my life, and I'll be 50. Lord will spare me in December.
Okay. The next question is, why does white men date white women or marry white women?
Or why do black men date or white women? Because you said white men. But
I'm sorry. Why black men date white women?
Well, first of all, I'm not gonna say everybody, because hey, I've been, guilty of dating, anyone of, all kinds of races myself, because as long as I like them and they like me, then it's cool. But you find some others that it's not a love thing or a like thing. Sometimes it's more of a it's several different scenarios you could fall into. Sometimes it's a sexual fantasy thing to where I'm not going to try to get graphic here on your show, but let's just say, put it like this. White women sexually would do certain things that black women just won't do, number one. And even dealing with finances, you're not going to have white women always complaining about, black man's financial status. Number two, a whole lot of them, they say, because I'm going off of what I hear now, and even certain things I've experienced, that, sometimes white women would treat a black man almost like a king compared to a black woman. And a whole lot of times black women, because sometimes, I'm not saying all, can, be aggressive and sometimes be money hungry and everything. You try to take them someplace, show them someplace nice, and, sometimes they can act loud and everything. And a little bit off topic, but I don't know if you heard about it. Maybe you could do some research on it, about a black woman who got arrested in Dubai because she was being loud.
Hello.
And, over there, they don't play that. So, no, she decided to get loud and decided to cuss or whatever. They locked her behind up because there's many black women, and it's not only black women, I would have to say all of us, who don't know how to go someplace and act right according to societal norms. Which leads me to your next question, is the terms that we call ghetto. Or why do we as black people say ghetto? The reason why we say that is because it is, no matter what race you are, whether you're going to talk about whether you're black, white, Hispanic, or whatever, it's certain societal norms and mores that you're supposed to hold yourself to. And certain behavior you're supposed to hold yourself to. There's certain standards you should have for your own self instead of just going out and just acting like a darn fool. It's no way that's appropriate for a woman, I don't care what the situation is, to walk out of her house with a bonnet on or with rollers in her hair and everything.
Hold it right there, Roosevelt.
Down the street with his pants sagging. That's not the way it should be.
Roosevelt, hold it right there. What are you measuring that to? What's your how you? I'm asking you how what are you measuring that to?
I'd have to say the standards of just our society, and I can understand what you're saying too, or whatever what you said. There's certain things that we might do as black people or could be considered to be maybe cultural or whatever. But sometimes when you're out there looking for a job, the job that you might get might not be for one of us who might understand your situation or understand your plight. You might be getting a job from a white person.
Okay, well, hold it right there. Roosevelt, let me ask you a question. Are white people and black people the same?
I'd have to say, I would have to say that's a yes or no, because I'd have to say that as far as being human, we're all the same, because God said in the Bible, you read the Bible, that, he took one blood and he created all of mankind. But at the same time, I have to say no, because, we are different.
Now, hold it right there.
Music is different. The way we,
Hold it right there. And the reason why I asked that question, you said it. We are different. So if we're different, that means we're going to do things different. We're going to think differently. Remember, we in a world with different cultures. You have some people eat pork. Mm-hmm. Some people don't eat pork. They think it's disgusting. They think it's sinful. You got different strokes for different folks. So what I'm trying to say is, when we measure something and we call it ghetto, what are we measuring it to? Are we measuring to white people's standards? That's the question I want to bring out. That's what I'm trying to get from you. So if white people don't do it, I don't hear, I'm quite sure she was white. She said, I've been in restaurants and stores with my bonnet and rollers, and she said it, one of the two. So is she ghetto?
I would have to say anybody who does that, to me, because I think it all depends on self-interpretation. I believe anyone who walks out the house like that it's a problem. And I think that, maybe we are, at the risk of being almost unpopular, maybe we are, depending on, let's just say, maybe white people's standards of society, because, like I said, white people, when we talk about white people, they are the majority. They are the government. They control just about everything. They control the wealth and all of that stuff here in this country, control the jobs and everything. And, like it or not, we got to still sometimes go to these people. So that's how come, I guess, that's what's the measure stick that you are, going to.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Hey, Martin.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, my bro. Go ahead.
Did you call me? I was
yes, sir.
I had to take care of an urgent call.
Yes, sir. I did call you, so I'm gonna let you're next. I did call you.
Okay.
I figured. Okay, go ahead. I want you to start with white on white crime first. We're gonna be. Yeah.
Okay, so the question is, what is white on white crime?
Yes, explain it to me. Mm-hmm. In your
That's
words.
the original crime. That's the original. This is who originated. This is crime by white people committed by white people to other white people.
Okay. Now, without you telling me your age, and I know how old are you, have you ever in your life heard the term white on white crime mentioned in the mainstream media?
Never.
Why you think that?
Well, they want to make it seem as though crime is exclusive and synonymous with black people. They're white, they're clean, they're perfect. We black, we dirty, we stink, we violent, we aggressive, we're dangerous. They're trying to perpetuate this negative narrative through media, radio, newspaper, magazine, ads. They're just trying to push their agenda that black people are dangerous, white people are safe. So that's all it is. And once you get a catchy phrase, you just catch on.
Okay. They always say if you keep hearing things long enough, you begin to believe it, even though it might be a lie.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So that's propaganda. What's going on?
That's all that is.
Okay. The next question is, why black men marry or date white women? What's your thoughts on that?
Well, as a human being and as a man, I'm attracted to women. And you are going to mate with who's available to you. So if you're in Australia and you're a man who's attracted to women and all that's available is white women, more than likely you're going to mate with a white woman. Like, human creation is going to move forward. I don't care where you are or who you are. What happens is that we're taught to only be with our own. That's something you have to learn. If you just was born and you just were just out here, you would mate with anybody. You'd be like any other animal in the animal kingdom. But because of our history and racism and everything like that, then we get into blacks should be with blacks and this and that. But in terms of just being a human being in the human race, and a man is going to mate with a woman. That's just biology. All that other stuff is stuff that we created as human beings. So it makes perfect sense in biology. Now, in terms of socially, I mean, I guess you kind of like what you like. There's some attractive white women, there's some attractive Spanish women, Asian women. You can't deny that. And some men is just gonna go ahead and do what they want to do because they feel a certain way. Someone make them think a certain way, feel a certain way, and they're not gonna. If you're gonna eat Asian food, why wouldn't you have sex with an Asian woman? So we do this with them in every other way. So you can't tell me you can go shop at a white store, but I can't have sex with a white woman. Either you're gonna cut them off completely or and not cut yourself off at all.
Okay.
So all that, you stay with your word, that's something we was taught.
Okay.
That is so true.
All right. I think the last question was what did I do? Ghetto. We've often used this term ghetto used in the community, and when you hear the word ghetto, when we refer to one another, give me an example of what's ghetto to you. What you think is ghetto? Of another black
Ghetto
person.
is a condition.
Okay.
It's synonymous with poverty and a certain living condition and dilapidated building structures. It's a condition. It's adapted to describe a person, but it's really a condition in which things are in poor condition. You know, it's just like I said, the building condition, the living condition, lack of food, resources. It's a living condition. It's a status.
Okay. So would you?
So when people, what a lot of black people do is take that and embrace it. Okay, I'm from the ghetto, and so I am ghetto. And so we the only ones that do that. So then other people say, well, you ghetto, which really means you black. That's what it means.
Mm-hmm. Code and language.
But instead of embracing it, now all of a sudden we're using it as a negative term. Well, that's ghetto. Like, remember back when they used to say, when you used to call a black person a hood, that was a problem. Mm-hmm. Now you got songs that say, I'm so hood. And so it's like we're good at turning a negative into a positive, but now we allow outside groups to refer to us as this. But that's all. It's a euphemism, a replacement term for black. So instead of black, they say ghetto.
People need to look at historically as a ghetto and where. I do know. I don't know. No one said it so far.
Okay. All right.
Say that part again. No one said what part?
Yeah. Sarge, repeat yourself. No one said what?
Okay. Now,
the last word.
Ghetto. Yeah. When the Nazis financially disenfranchised the Jews, the poor areas they put them in were called ghettos. Okay. That was in World War II. In the United States, they adopted the same thing, except it was called redlining. A ghetto is a substandard living environment according to the normal standard living environment. That's what it is in a nutshell, and nobody pointed that out.
I read it. Somebody said it. I think Louis Ramsey said it in a message. But let me. Okay.
It defines what poverty is.
Right. But Tiffany.
And the behaviors of the poverty.
Tiff, I've heard you say on my live, right in, when people are talking about, when they talk about certain things, you say that's a poverty mindset. So what do you mean by that? I've heard you say that. Write it on in my message when people are talking on live and you type in that's a poverty mindset. So what do you mean by that? I need to know that.
Okay, so a lot of us, Marcus, you kind of smart. Was that Marcus talking real quick, Martin? You kind of
No, that was me talking. That was Sarge.
No, she wasn't talking about you, Sarge. You talking about the other guy. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He knows our little history. He's smart. Okay, so where I say cold motherfuckers and they ain't smart, they dumb, stupid, can't comprehend.
No, that was me talking. That was Sarge. No, she wasn't talking about you, Sarge.
Oh, okay.
No, Sarge.
Big up to you right now, Sarge, for the moment, temporarily. No, I'm just playing. So when I do say cold motherfuckers, they dumb, stupid, can't read, write, and comprehend. A lot of that, right? A big number, right? Is because of the poverty-stricken conditions, right? As we identified, today it's called the hood, right? Because white folks have updated the word to hood, right? That we don't take. Yeah. So that's what it is. And if we do take a look at it, right, at the highest numbers, us, everything negative is the highest numbers of being great, right? So yeah, that's where it comes from. If you take a look again, what he said, that it's our conditions. It's the way a big number of us live. And that's why, the behavior still goes even when the moms have their little kids. Life still goes on with that same poverty mindset, and poor little children are just born into it. That's what my little heart just breaks. So, so yeah, I hope that makes sense. As far as ghetto, right? I believe that a lot of us, right, are extremists, right? When we do stuff, my God, are we extremists? It's almost like an OCD, right? So yeah, so when we do go steal, right, we're gonna do a grab and go, we're gonna do a crash and go, right? You see where I'm going with this? We're extremists. Where I think you know what I'm saying, more a lot of the other racial ethnic groups, they're not as extremists. They fall more so under the conservative white boy, right? And with us blacks, many of us, right, we find our identities within ourselves, the same behaviors, the same people, especially us black females, because we don't diversify. Black man is more diversified when it comes to sex. It's just the way he is, and he's got a mouthpiece that, you know, gets him to where he wants to get, and just like that.
Okay. All right, people.
Hey, whoever said, Martin, real quick, that white lady that called, those are the type of white people that we like, right? Because she's from the other side of the railroad. She's actually speaking of herself and many other white folks as being, it's unbiased, right? Because it's what they see, right? Whether it's in a grocery store, on TV, whatever, the train, you know, the bus, whatever. But those are the kind of white folks we want to appreciate and you know what I'm saying, welcome them to use their voice, because they're not white guilt politicians. You see where I'm going with this?
Okay.
So I wanted to tell the lady that.
Well,
but thank you for calling in.
no problem. Listen, I want to say this too. We're going to end shortly. It's a crime scene going on, they call, but I'm not going. I got some video put up. But let me just say this. This live tonight, I hope it enlightens some people out here, you know, that think the stereotypes and things like that. I didn't comment on anything. I stayed neutral on this subject, but those of you know me personally, you know how I think, how I feel, but this show is for us so we can get out how we feel about certain things. You know, I feel a certain type of way when I hear black on black crime come out of black people's mouths. It's just like whatever white people say, we just repeat. But then when we make our own language, our own lingo, is ghetto, is ebonics. We make up names. We do things differently. We dance different. We sing different. We read different. We talk different. We eat different. That's what we do. So in one culture, eating a cat, I'm talking about not a sexual cat, I'm talking about literally cat. That's normal, you know, because some people mind go wondering, so I want to clear it out. It's normal in that society, but in this society, it may not be. But now I'm just recently hearing that they eat cats and dogs over here too as well. So I'm like, oh wow, oh well, might be some good eating. I don't know. Never tried it. Never tried it.
Yeah, in Korea it's called Kagogu.
Right. What I'm hearing now is just more than Koreans eating cats and dogs. It's other races too as well. That's what I'm hearing. Now I don't have no facts on it, but that's what I'm hearing.
It's more of an Asian.
Yeah.
It's more of an Asian. They're part of their culture. Korea, China, Japanese. You see where I'm going with it? Vietnamese. Hmong. If you ever notice too, real quick, they always get their kitchens on the news. They're always doing a violation. You see?
But see, you got to remember everything.
It's all in the
everything.
Oh, Martin.
Yeah, let me just say this.
It's all in how it's pronounced.
Right.
Kagogi, canine. Shugogi, chicken. Bulgogi, beef.
Let me just say this. We base here in America, if it's not done in American culture, it's strange, it's different, it's weird, it's odd. It's all we know. Now, if you leave this country, you might see some things in Mexico the way they do things in Mexico, or in Africa, the continent of Africa. They may do things different. And it may be strange because of the way we were brought up in this country. So I'm going to leave it right there. Thank you guys for tuning in. Y'all already know what it is. It's live, uncut.
You already know what it is. Live, uncut, unedited.
This is where we
Tell the truth
and what?
and shame the devil.
Now, I don't know about you guys. I love
being black.
I love being
I love being
that
black.
media. You can talk all that black on black crime you want to, or black on black violence, all you want to. But I love being black. Thank you guys. Good night.